Today's topic is sensitive, so if you're with little kids, I suggest that you listen to this at some other time. Today we're going to be talking about the latest developments with Robert Morris. Some of you might be a little behind the eight ball, wondering what's going on. What did Robert Morris do? Well, I found a nice synopsis on a news station, which I know is rare these days.
You're saying the quiet part out loud, I think.
And so we're just going to play that first, and then I'm going to follow that up with the written statement on the resignation of Robert Morris provided by the victim herself.
This morning, the pastor of a Texas megachurch has resigned amid allegations he sexually abused a girl for years, beginning when she was 12.
It just happens to be God's time, I think, for it to come to light.
Cindy Clemishire, appearing on CNN, accuses Gateway Church pastor Robert Morris of molesting her between 1982 and 1987, when Morris was a traveling pastor. After Clemishire went public, Morris acknowledged he was involved in inappropriate sexual behavior with a young lady, not referencing the girl's age, saying it was kissing and petting, adding it was wrong. Morris says he returned to the church in 1989 after 2 years of counseling, claiming he resumed preaching with the blessing of Clemishire's family, which she denies.
He didn't come forward and confess. He was turned in. And when someone's turned in, what are they sorry for? Are they sorry because they got caught, or are they truly repentant of what they did?
Morris founded Gateway Church in Southlake, Texas, attracting 100,000 congregants across numerous locations. In this 2014 video, he spoke about his past, quote, immorality.
I looked for girls that did not have a good relationship with their father. I learned to spot that. I looked for girls that were insecure.
At first, the church stood by Morris, saying he shared publicly from the pulpit the proper biblical steps he took in this lengthy restoration process. But the board has now released a new statement after accepting his resignation, saying it did not have all the facts of the inappropriate relationship between Morris and the victim. No criminal charges have been filed, and experts say the statute of limitations has likely expired.
I was actually in Dallas when this story broke. I have friends that attend Gateway, highly involved with Gateway, and this is very, very heartbreaking. Now, I'm going to read exactly the reaction from the victim who wrote the statement after Robert Morris resigned. By the way, she has said that she wants her message to get out of what happened. And I'm going to read the full statement. I know many of you sometimes don't watch YouTube, but you listen to it. So I'm going to read it as she wrote it. Hey, Michael here. Glad you're watching. Really appreciate your time. I know it's valuable. If you haven't liked or subscribed to the channel, I ask that you do that. And please share our content. It really helps. Now, back to the video. This is what her statement says. First, I would like to thank the many people who have sent me messages of support during these past few days. Many of these encouraging notes have come from complete strangers. This has given me and my family much strength and hope during this difficult time. I have many mixed thoughts and feelings upon hearing the news of Robert Morris's resignation. Though I am grateful that he is no longer a pastor at Gateway, I am disappointed that the Board of Elders allowed him to resign. He should have been terminated. As I have previously stated, I have been seeking this for years. My family and I have gone to leaders of very prominent churches and well-known ministries with this information, hoping that someone would hold him accountable and remove him from ministry leadership. The leadership at Gateway received actual notice of this crime in 2005 when I sent an email directly to Robert Morris's Gateway email address. Former Gateway elder Tom Lane received and responded to my email acknowledging that the sexual abuse began on December 25th, 1982, when I was 12 years old. Again, in 2007, my then attorney, Getner Drummond, the current Attorney General of Oklahoma, sent a letter to Robert Morris with the hope that he would help reimburse me for the thousands of dollars I had expended in counseling as a result of this abuse. His attorney acknowledged the dates as well and then attempted to blame me for the abuse. At the very least, both the Gateway pastor and at least one elder had specific notice that I was sexually abused beginning when I was 12 years old. Gateway had the information, but intentionally decided to embrace the false narrative Robert Morris wanted them to believe. As stated by my attorney earlier this afternoon, quote, just days ago, the Gateway elders released a statement saying, since the resolution of the 35-year-old matter, there have been no other moral failures. Now that they have allegedly just learned that he was being untruthful, why limit the investigation to his conduct between 1982 and 1987? Why not expand the investigation to the entire tenure at Gateway Church? Also, why have they retained a law firm that specializes in crisis management? Their own website states, it is critical to have a highly skilled and experienced legal team, able to quickly assemble and focus on the immediate and long-term strategies necessary to mitigate financial and reputational loss and stabilize in a crisis situation, and to coordinate the efforts of specialized consultants to mitigate harm. This does not appear to be an independent investigation, and this deeply concerns me. This is just the beginning. I wholeheartedly and sadly believe I am not the only victim. I encourage anyone who has been sexually victimized by a leader at Gateway Church to take the bold step forward and say something. Now is the time. Please know that you will be supported and will not walk this journey alone. I hope and pray that the leadership at Gateway Church will echo this encouragement, knowing that this can be an opportunity to find the truth while providing help and restitution to victims. To the congregation of Gateway Church and the countless who have followed Robert Morris online, my heart is equally broken for you. Please remember our faith is in Jesus, not an institution or a man in the pulpit. Keep the faith. The letter goes on. Though we are called to forgive those who hurt us, please understand that forgiveness is about you and can take time. We should expect and demand consequences. To quote Bob Hamp, this scandal is not just about Robert Morris, it's about larger system dynamics at play that both foster and protect ongoing predatory behavior. If we miss this larger picture, we miss the opportunity to protect the church and put a stop to an epidemic of abuse. Lastly, I am committed to fighting for criminal and civil statute of limitation reform for victims of child sexual abuse. Victims should not be robbed of justice simply because it has taken them time to process childhood trauma before being emotionally ready to confront those who are responsible for these crimes. It is time for us to start protecting children and stop protecting predators. Cindy Clemishire, 6/18/2024. That is an account of her story, and one that is so tragic. I'm going to just highlight a couple things that I see out of this entire devastating mess. The first is her father. When I first heard the story break, and I heard that the family forgave Robert Morris, and according to her, they never approved that he go back into ministry. I'll take that as a true statement. I wondered what happened. Like, where was the outrage and the going after legally Robert Morris? Now, I don't want to seem judgmental. I have no idea about Cindy's father, but I was reminded of the story in the Old Testament where Tamar, David's daughter, was raped by one of his sons, who was Absalom's brother, and then Absalom eventually killed him. But the text highlights that David did nothing, his apathy. And this reminded me of that. It's tragic that this happened. I think it's even more tragic that their family did nothing about it. But that's just my initial thought on that. Robert Morris stepping down, of course, that had to happen. Like, I don't even know why it took 2 days. It should have happened immediately. As far as the board accepting his resignation, and she saying she'd rather that he was terminated, that is, fired. I know what she's saying. There would be more of a punch to it, I guess, if the elders said we are firing Robert Morris, opposed to just accepting his resignation. But in the end, he's gone. It had already been announced that I believe in the fall of 2025, the church was going to be run by his son. That's a whole other bag of worms, that topic of mega churches turning over the family business. So that was already in the works. My guess is it's going to be fast-tracked. Can't say for sure. And another thing that I noticed about Robert Morris's talking about this in the past is that he referenced her as a young lady, which couched that language so as to not be seen for what you are, which is a pedophile. What makes this so tragic is that it went on for so long and that she's so young. I mean, this is a major, major crime, which then leads to the last statement of Cindy that she wants to help fight in the civil statute of limitations reform world. Now, I have mixed emotions about this. I used to be in law enforcement, and there's a reason there's a statute of limitations. While I hear what she says, that people shouldn't get away, I get that. But at the same time, there are some real vindictive people, and 35 years, for instance, is a long time to recall facts of a situation by which those facts then determine whether someone goes to prison or not. Now, to be clear, me talking about this because she brought it up and statute of limitations and trying to extend it is not me saying that Miss Clemishire is misremembering or anything like that. I mean, Robert has admitted to it. Believe her 100%. She seems very genuine, like a godly woman. And my comments have nothing to do with her. Mine is more of a broader level regarding the legal system and a memory of past events that, if convicted, could send innocent people to prison. But you need to also be able to send the guilty, and that I understand. Now, what I can say, and what I think I could support, is in this area of molestation of kids, that maybe the statute of limitations is revisited. But still, even yet, I'm not sure. I see both sides of it. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Again, this is a devastating topic, devastating to the Church of Christ. I know some of you who watch this don't follow Christ, and just know that this does not align with what he calls all of us to, which is to put to death sin that dwells in us. And so today I'd just like to end with, normally I end with the please like, share, and subscribe and all that. And of course, we would love for you to do that. But today, just for those that are believers, pray for Cindy, pray for the elders, pray for the family of Robert Morris, and for Gateway as a whole. I don't know what will happen from here. Will it survive? Thanks for tuning in. Till next time, I'm Michael Goff. This is Chronicles of Clarity, where we are here to clarify for you. Have a great rest of your day.